Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Let's talk about language for a minute. Taiji. And the word qi, which in English is often used to mean mystical qi energy, mystical powers, energy flowing through the body, flowing through the universe. It's basically the Force from Star Wars, right? But these two words, because they are similar sounding in English, qi and taiji, are often confused. And so people often confuse this idea that tai chi must have something to do with mystical qi energies. Well, let's set the linguistic record straight. Let's look at the Mandarin language. This is the character for tai chi, or taiji, ji with a J sound in Mandarin. Taiji. Notice it's a different character from this one. Qi, which means breath, air, or gas. Yes, that's what it actually means, if we use it in combination with other words like byakuchi. So, the idea that qi, breath, air, gas, means mystical energy is weird enough, but confusing that character with these ones in the word taiji or taiji twin, yeah, that's inexcusable. And so we have what is originally intended to be a martial art, and most of us are familiar with the slow motion forms of tai chi that the old people do in the park in the morning, that we associate with health and fitness. But this is predominantly a grappling art. Did you know that? Tai chi is predominantly a grappling art. There are throws and trips and takedowns and sweeps and joint locks and all this other cool stuff. Most people don't practice that anymore. But that was the original intention of these forms, that these are shadow wrestling, if you will. But somehow, largely because of linguistic misunderstanding of the word qi and the characters qi and ji, somehow tai chi has become conflated with mystical qi energy. How many times have you seen people trying to make like mystical qi balls in their hands, like, look, it feels warmer in the space between my hands and therefore I'm using my qi. This is tai chi. No, that's not tai chi at all. If you don't know how to grapple, you don't know tai chi. If you don't know how to wrestle, you don't know tai chi. If you don't know what a joint lock is, you don't know tai chi. Taiji twin, what does that actually mean? Has nothing to do with qi energy, nothing to do with breath or air or gas. It basically means the utmost highest, twin, which means fist, which is a suffix often added to a martial art to imply it's a fighting style. Not that you fight with your hands. It's not a punching style. It's not pugilism. And I'm constantly asked, Ramsey, what do you think of pugilism? As if that were a different thing than fist fighting or boxing. It's not. Pugilism is fighting with your fists, and every competent fighter needs to learn how to fight with their fists. That's all it is. It's boxing. It's a fancy word for boxing. What do I think about it? I think it's cool, and you should do it. But taiji twin is not pugilism. That twin is not pugilism. That just means it's a martial art. It's a fighting style. And you'll find that suffix at the end of a lot of Chinese kung fu styles, just to indicate this is a fighting style. It's a martial art, right? Even if it has nothing to do with your fists. Man, what happened to Tai Chi? How because of these misunderstandings, because of the semantic drift in the English language, relevant to the word Qi, it would be comparable if, say, hundreds of years from now, nobody remembered what wrestling was. If freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling, folk wrestling, collegiate wrestling just kind of died out. And maybe there were a few shadow wrestling forms that remained that a couple of people remembered and passed on to their children, and their children passed on to their children. But over time, the meanings of these forms were forgotten. Maybe here's like an arm drag, but we're going to put that into a form. And then they think, oh, well, obviously, this movement is representative of harnessing my mystical powers through the palms of my hands, and then I will make that energy shoot out from my palms like an invisible Hadouken fireball at my enemies and paralyze them. But originally it was just intended to be an arm drag. And so we have people across the world wearing old Chinese costumes with the knotted buttons, wearing these antiquated costumes, doing these forms that they don't know the meaning of. And that's fine if they do that. That's perfectly fine. But when the ones who believe that that means magic, when they do what they do, that would be like if 500 years from now, we were doing the same thing with wrestling. If you had a bunch of old people putting on wrestling singlets, doing slow motion arm drags out in the park as a form of shadow wrestling, telling themselves, this is magic. That's the state of the world we live in today. As far as the understanding of Tai Chi, most people have no idea that Taiji Chuan is originally a grappling art. Yes, in the context of striking, because back then they didn't separate fighting into these different classifications. Now we're only going to punch. Now we're only going to kick. Now we're only going to grapple. No, a fight was a fight. But the art emphasized grappling. Anyway, there's your linguistic history lesson about Kung Fu today. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.